So this week, everybody, we are joined by a very, very, very special guest, Mr. Michael Bailey Smith. How are you doing today?
Very good, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Agent X and Eric.
We
Yeah,
are
and
so
yeah,
thrilled to have you.
and Galen, thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. No, it's an honor.
It's a
Yeah,
special
it's really
day.
cool.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
going to
so
put this plug in that this will probably be one of, if not the best episode I record for this whole podcast. I'm geeking out right now because it's
well,
not just one character, it's not just one universe. We know you from multiple things, and so I'm just
yeah,
happy that you're here.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Here, uh let me share my screen a little bit. I'll try to pop something up and show you what I look back in the day. So let me see. Here's what when I first started acting. Here's what I look like there. See that picture there? So I had the hair and I was pretty, all that good stuff. So it's scary. And then let me show you now the what I look like right when I got charmed. I'll show you that picture. So hold on. Bam. Here we go. So there's the hair slicked back. You see that one?
That's the
So that's
perfect look.
Oh
That is
yeah.
perfect
yeah,
look.
so that's I got it. Yeah. So then and then yeah, so that's what I look like when I got the role. So yeah, wasn't too bad. So
It
they asked
looks
me if I
like
could
you
shave
should
my
be in
head.
like a spy thriller action movie. I could see like a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
I was
Uh,
definitely thinking like Terminator, James Bond.
oh, you ever seen you ever seen the movie a TV show back in the day called Between Brothers?
No, I
It
haven't.
had I'll show it to you. You'll love this right here. There's that's
I've never
so it's
seen
Eddie Davison. You ever seen that show? Yeah, you should watch that. So anyway, it's a great bit we did there. But yeah, so cool stuff. And then of course, this is my first role here on Charmed, and I'll show this to you. You guys all know this already. Bam, this one. So that's Janor. So that's with
There's
my
our boy.
head freshly shaved.
There's our boy. You,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
What?
this as a the first like time that the Grimlocks are like independent characters because when we first see them in season one, they're doing their thing, but they've got personalities in season three, and this is amazing to like see this picture and see your progression into the role because you literally fit it to a T.
Yeah, thank you. And
Yeah.
then here is so when I was doing so again when I was doing this role, let me go back and share it again. My apologies. So we'll do a little bit of a show and tell. So when I was doing this role here, uh, so I was there was another Grimlock too, a shorter guy. I don't know, I don't remember his name, but he and I we were doing the show, and I kept getting a lot of comments from people saying, "Hey, you're doing a great job." Like just random people, crew people come, "Hey, you're doing a great job." So, oh, thanks. And it's one of the things where you got to let it go in one ear and out the other, right? You don't want to let that get to your head, get an ego, or do all those things like that, right? So, because after this job, you're unemployed. That's pretty much it, right? So you got to get your next gig. And I was working actor, right? So you go from gig to gig. And then the director, the AD or the assistant director, come up to me, and he said, "Hey, I want to let you know that the director said to me that you are probably one of the best actors he's worked with in the last 4 to 5 years." And I'm like, "You mean me?" I mean, I'm like, "Really?" I said, "You're talking about me, Michael Bailey Smith." And he says, he goes, "Yeah, you." I said, "Oh, wow, thank you." So I finished the role, and then I actually literally got to my trailer, and I was in there getting dressed, ready to go home because I was done. And my manager calls me and says, "Hey, guess what? They want you back." And I said, I just got killed off the show, so I'm not sure how I'm going to get back. Not at that. So so supposedly they hired somebody else to play Belthazor, and it wasn't working out. So, and this happens, a lot. Doesn't it hasn't happened to me, but it's happened to other, and so what happened was they said they want you as Belthazor. I said, great. And I said, yeah, so next week show up and they're gonna get you going. So I went from that to this next one here, to the infamous right here. Let me share this one. To that. So that's my guy. So that's what I went to that guy. And so I did that character, right? And so one thing you know, I'll never hardly ever compliment myself or say, "Hey, you're a great actor," or things like that. But I can tell you that one thing, I'm pretty logical and kind of analytical a lot of times with my characters, and I'm saying, well, Janor was very, very strict, in his emotions, don't show anything. His movements are very deliberate. Um, and Belthazor, um, had to make him different. And so I made him uh he's like an assassin, but like a Schwarzenegger assassin kind of dude. And so I did him. And then um let me show you the next one. And then they asked me to do this guy here. Let me show that. This is
Already ready for it.
that one right there. So that dude.
Ah,
Yeah,
So
that
yes.
one really, that one hurt my heart the most.
yeah. So Shax. So again, looking at this logically, I can't play him like Janor. I can't play him like Belthazor. So how do you play someone like that? Well, he's supposed to be the demon, of like wind and tornadoes, right? That's kind of how he is. He's got those kind of attributes. So I was thinking, well, maybe he's kind of like he's acting like Jim Morrison from The Doors. You ever watch? You ever listen to his music? Back in the
Hmm.
days. I don't know if you guys listen
Hmm.
to that, but anyway, like back in the '70s, it's like, how you doing? So I kind of made it like that. So when he says the end, I made it like that, but kind of slurry and and everything he does. I've studied martial arts for some time, so I added a little Tai Chi there with the hands and the movement and very flowy and things like that. So that's what I did. No.
That is
I
so
have to tell
amazing. I'm sorry. That is so like you just blew my mind right now.
I have to tell
Thank
you
you.
that the end is like one of the most iconic lines in Charmed.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the whole thing where I'm like turning my head and go, the end, whatever. Who are you? The end, that kind of whole situation. Yeah. So that's just kind of organically how that came about. I didn't think about it really, just kind of they're just part of the character, and that's how he would do that. And so but I didn't know that I would be killing Shannon Doherty off the show. I didn't know that. So don't say I did no idea. So she was actually, with all the things you hear about, difficulties with her and Alyssa and and recently I've been seeing stuff about that. And listen, on every set there are personalities, and with those personalities come egos, sometimes. And even like when I've done movies where you're like maybe you're either number one on the call sheet, which I've been, or you're like number 4 or 5 on the call sheet or whatever, or even number two. You're vying for, who's the alpha dog, right? On who's the alpha
Hmm.
on the set. And so that's kind of,
Yeah.
I think was happening a little bit. There was who's the alpha, and sometimes personally get along. To me, I didn't see any issues. I could notice some tensions and things like that, but to how they treated me was 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 super nice. Every time Alyssa, when I was dressed as Belthazor, she'd come over and give me a kiss on the cheek and say, "You're not scary." She was like whistling in the dark or whatever, but she would do that. And Shannon was always nice to me. Yeah, so it was a great experience for sure. Yeah.
Yo,
And
while we're on this subject, I just wanted to know, like, what was it like being directed by Shannon?
I was gonna ask that same question.
Uh, it was good. I mean, she works her butt off. I've seen her. I was doing a scene, and I looked over, and they had it on a big sound stage, right? So, and they build out these little stages, right? These sets, and they're just basically drywall and 2x4s, right? They build out sets for walls and they decorate them, and they can pick them up and put them back in, and they tear them down, whatever. And so they shoot things in sections. And so this part here, like it's where their house is at. And they had that whole set up. And then over here is another thing, maybe like a cave or whatever they have set up that's not lit yet. They're going to get to it. But I looked over there when we were shooting something in the house, and I looked over and I saw Shannon working with stunt coordinators on a fight she had to do. I mean, she's doing that on her own. She wanted to make sure that, she looked really good. So, I have a lot of respect when people do that. Me coming from an athletic background, playing, walking on at, a division school, becoming preseason All-American, all that stuff like that. Then, end up going to the Cowboys in camp until I blew my knee out, and then just but knowing when you get to that level, the work you have to put in to be successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in this world, period, that is worth anything that comes without hard work. There's nothing. If it's easy, there's something wrong. And when you get that email, hey, you can get $15 million, just send me your bank account information. Let me wire it to you. That ain't happening. That's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. It's in
And
life
easy
the same
come,
way.
easy go.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And Shannon worked her butt off. I saw it. And people were cruel to her too. I mean, she had this reputation. We were on the set doing something. I forgot, it was outside, and someone said, "Hey, assistant, come up to her and say, hey, Shannon, you have something, you got a package." And she opened up the package, and it was you got some flowers. Open up the flowers, there were 12 dead roses.
Oh my God.
12 dead black. And that's like, how cruel is that?
Oh my God.
Why would someone do that to them? So, I mean, yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's life though, right? So we all have haters, right?
Yeah.
So your true friends, after you realize after a while, your true friends will always root you on, no matter how successful you become. They'll never be jealous. They're just happy for you. That's your true friend. So anyway,
You're right about that.
yeah. So this is Shax. So yeah. So that's what happened there. It was pretty cool. So, I mean, they have anything else that's kind of interesting that I could show you? Here's a great shot here of Shax. He's kind of sexy here. So hold on a second. For you, if you can call Shax sexy. So there you go. Here's Shax. Bam.
With
I
the
want you to
wind,
look.
the first
I want you to,
Airbender.
yeah.
So he's like a dead Fabio there. So yeah.
You have been memes all over Twitter with this photo.
Everywhere.
This photo has been all over the timeline.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Well, it's funny, when I signed this autograph, I signed it across my chest. So right across here, Michael Bailey Smith. So yeah. Yeah.
This
So
really
cool.
is like an infamous picture. This one, and then the one I want to say is right after he takes out Prue, and he's kind of got the head still tilted, like
Yeah.
I love that picture. I love those. Like, and I have gone back and forth in my head on whether to ask this, but I have to. how did they keep the wig on with all the wind blowing and
I don't. They glued it. It looks like it's real too. It looks like real. I'm looking at that hairline. Looks freaking natural.
It
very
Look
does.
at like it
Yep.
does look very natural. Yeah, I don't know. They're doing movie magic, man. And there's a lot. I could tell you about a lot of people in Hollywood that I've seen that are balder than a beat. I mean, they're bald and they wear wigs.
yeah.
They wear wigs.
And
So
like this is
I wasn't gonna
2001.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah,
very good. Very
Yes.
good work.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Ahead of its
Agreed.
time, actually.
Yeah,
Very.
Yeah.
good.
Like it didn't budge nowhere. And this, so just in talking about Shax, I mean, truly, Shax is a character that even though we only hear him speak that once, he really is one of the most like important characters in Charmed. Truly,
That that's
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
pretty crazy.
he,
And I didn't ask for any of this. I mean, I just did my job, and then this other things just kind of, they were offered to me. So that even like when I did the source, right?
Mhm,
Said, hey, we want you to play
I
this.
was just about
So
to bring that up.
yeah,
yeah, same thing. So I just went in and did the source. Now they didn't show my face, but they did the source, and it was my voice, and then with the they tweak all that stuff, but then and then later on I got called back to do another like it was like a table of demons or console of demons, whatever, and then I played like a Grimlock leader of some sort, but
mhm,
that was coming to the end anyway.
Yeah.
The sad part was for me a little bit um was because Belthazor was a like a real um an important character in Charmed, and I didn't know that they were going to get rid of my character. I heard it through the grapevine, through
uh,
like a stunt coordinator. Like no one called me and said, "Hey, we're gonna end your character here." So anyway, but let me show you some other things here that are quite interesting, that are not charm related, but still pretty cool. Oh, here's a great shot here of Belthazar. I'll share with you. I
I do
love
have
this one.
one
This is good.
experience I would really love to ask you about at one point. So,
Yeah. Please ask. Go for it. Here's
uh,
another one of
I
Belthazar.
love that one. I love it when he throws the energy ball at
I remember that exact moment.
and Prue
Yeah,
throws it
Yes.
and blink. So when like they would throw Belthazar or whatnot, so like this moment, when they throw him out of the window, after he tries to kill them when they've lost their powers, was that actually you or was that a stunt double?
that's a stunt double. So yeah, so his name is Tim Sitars. His nickname is Bubba. He's my stunt double. So I use him for. I got him into things like let me show you the movies I got him into. But yeah, so Tim Sitars, he's a well-known, very reputable. There, oh, right here. Yeah, so he's a very reputable stunt guy, well-known, and yeah, he's a good actor too. So
Mhm.
he's done a lot of good stuff. This is this is Men in Black 2. So
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
I had no idea that was you.
hey, pretty lady, you taste good. And so
Oh
I
God.
oh
I
my
have a
god.
great story about this. So of course that's Laura Flynn Boyle, right? So that outfit I wore sold on eBay like for I don't know $3,000, 2,000, something like that. A lot. I'm like I wanted to get that, but that was too expensive. But anyway, they took about 2 weeks to get that to make that, maybe longer than that. And so for that so I'm looking at another screen. That's why I'm looking off. But anyway, uh so I get to the set and we're shooting this in Pasadena at the park. There's a big, large park. And if you remember the scene, the spaceship crashes in the park. This worm comes out and is going along and it sees a dog. You finally realize the perspective of the worm. He's really small, scares the dog. The dog and the owner run off. The worm finds this magazine and it flips open to a picture of of a Victoria's Secret model, which is, Laura Flynn Boyle, and it spins around and turns into her. And all of a sudden I come up behind her and do all that. So we're setting this thing up, and Barry Sonnenfeld is the director. And he's talking to me about the character and things like that. And Laura comes over and she introduces herself, and so we set up for the first shot. And there's like just to do a rehearsal. Now I have to lick her face, right? I'm licking her face. I've met this woman like maybe a minute before on the set right there, and I'm gonna lick her face. And I go, Laura, I said, I feel really, after we did it the first time, and I licked her face, and they went back in and touched it up and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Laura, I said, first of all, I apologize for doing this. She goes, no, it's part of the script. I said, okay. And I said, I feel really weird because I don't even know you when I'm licking your face. And she goes, I kind of like it that you don't know me. It's kind of cool. And I'm like, okay. So she was very nice. So yeah, that was good. But let me see. Charmed. Oh, let me show you a little history here. This is my first role ever, and if you did some research, you know which one that is. It's this character here.
Yes, yes. We were talking about that.
We
Yes,
were
yes, yes,
Yeah,
talking
yes.
about
we
this
did talk about that before.
because I'm not a huge horror person, but when
Yeah,
I saw Super Freddy, I was like, "What does this mean?" Because I don't watch those films.
yeah.
How was this? What? Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah. So I'd finished with the Cowboys. I went back, finished my degree, got my knee all squared away, and then I was kind of scrambling what to do. I met this one gal. She said she was going to California to San Diego. She got a job. She's an aerospace engineer degree, and so I said, oh, mine was a computer science. I said, I'll go out there too and see what happens. I liked her, and she liked me at the time. And then we got to San Diego, and I found a crappy apartment with some strange person, and then just slept on the floor for a while. It's pretty, how it is when you're young like that, right? So you just don't know. You just kind of make your own way. And so yeah, and then she ended up dumping me within a few weeks, about a month or so. And so I was just being the single guy in a PB, or Pacific Beach, they call it in San Diego. And I started training at Gold's Gym in Venice. There's a guy by the name of Steve Henenberry, who later became an American Gladiator back in the 90s, that TV show. And he had dabbled into acting, and he was also Hercules, but Conan in the Conan Adventurer show, in the Universal Studios live action stuff. The stage stuff.
I'm familiar with it. That's cool.
Yeah. So he did that. He and I he's a big dude, bigger than me. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna go up to Los Angeles to root for this movie called Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5. You said you were thinking about maybe getting into acting. He said, why don't you come with me and see what happens? Maybe you can get audition too. I said, all right. So I went with him. I was working at Xerox at the time, debugging software. I remember my this lady boss. She's like, I go, hey, I want to take the day off. Well, you can't take the day off. Well, I'm gonna take it off anyway. Well, you're gonna be fired. That's okay. I didn't care. And so, when you're young like that, you could just, whatever, I can figure it out, right? So I went up there and went with him to audition. He auditioned, and then I went and auditioned. I ended up getting it. The director's like going, so Michael, have you seen those Freddy Krueger movies? And I said, yeah, of course. Well, I need someone big and scary that can laugh. Can you laugh at me? I said, all right. And I get done. He goes, that's fucking awesome. Guess what? You got yourself a job. I'm like, well, I was working at Xerox. And he's going, well, you're gonna have to take a few days off. And so about 2 weeks later, I'm up on the set. I'm in the trailer with Robert Englund. We're talking about Super Freddy. And I got on the set and I said, wow, this is what I want to do. And so after I did this role, and most people don't know, but I did two characters in that show. I did that Super Freddy. I had my first couple lines. Faster than a master maniac, more powerful than a local bad man. It's Super Freddy. You know, that big old laugh
Oh my
that I can
God. You
do.
just like
Yeah,
took me back to my childhood just now.
yeah, yeah. So, but so I'm standing around like within the last day of filming that. We did it for about a week or so. And last day of filming, and I saw the casting director and the director staring at each other, talking, look over at me, talking, looking at me, and I'm going, oh, I'm either in trouble or something. And then finally they walk over and I go, hey, Michael, we were thinking of using you for a love scene. I'm like, Super Freddy? They go, no. So the movie's called Dream Child. It's called Dream Child, and we need, there's got to be some love making in the beginning, that because the lead actress needs to get pregnant, and Danny Hassel, who was the male star of the show, which pretty funny. I have a story about him, but great guy, by the way. But he so we need someone to body double him for, they're going to do this close up love making thing. And I said, you're going to pay me for this? And they said, yep. I said, I'm in. That's good. Let's do it. So next thing you know, I'm like, I'm naked with a loincloth on, a flesh color. And then the gal's got like, she's topless with the loincloth on the bottom too. And we're doing all this kind of moving around and grinding. And so that was my introduction to Hollywood. So it was quite interesting. Yeah. So it was fun. It was good. So that right there, not that part, but the part about just being with Robert Englund, understanding character, and doing that. And I wanted to be a good actor. Everything I've done in my life, I tried to be, the best at. Right. Because to me, if you do anything half-assed in your life, it's a direct reflection on you, right? You personally,
Yeah.
and how you were raised. It's a family situation, right? And I'm not gonna make my parents look bad, and they're still around. They're 86 and 85, and they still ask me to take out the trash when I go home and see them. So that's how it is, right? And
That sounds about right.
I do not want to do anything half-assed. Whatever I do the best of my ability, and I do a little bit more. Always do a little bit more. If you just do a little bit more than anything that you do, you'll be recognized one of the best, and that will open up so many other doors. You don't have to do a lot more, just do a little bit more, and because you'll be known as a go-getter, be known as a guy that somebody you can always depend on. You're the first one's going to get the raise. You're the first one's going to recognize who you are, and they might offer you some other kind of job. You just don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to bring so many opportunities. And that's what I learned early. Can I tell you a story about my dad?
Of course.
Of course.
So when I got out of the military, right? I was a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division in the Army. I got out. I wanted to walk on. I was going to walk on at Eastern Michigan to play football. And I came home, and I had about a month and a half before I was going to go to camp. And my dad says, well, you're not going to sit around. And my dad's, E9 in the Air Force, hardcore sergeant, he says, well, you're not going to sit around here. You're going to go get yourself a job. And he goes, go down to the bottom of the hill. There's a warehouse on there. Go ask him for a job. Well, I don't know if they're hiring, because I don't care. I don't ask him anyway.
Yeah.
So I hopped in the car. I drove down the hill, and I walked in, and the guy said, hey, you guys got anybody, you guys looking for anybody? Nah, we're cool. All right. So I hopped in the car, drove back home. I told my dad. Next day, he goes, go down and ask him again. Dad, I just went down there. Listen, I'm an former Army paratrooper. And I'm like, so my dad still runs the show, as you all know that, right? And so, all right, so I was pissed. I went down there and asked again. And the guy goes, hey, You were just here yesterday. I just told you we're not hiring. I know. Okay. Get in the car, drive back up there. So that's like on a Thursday or Friday. Come Monday morning, my dad goes, go down there and ask him again. Then he and I got in a huge fight, just huge fight, screaming and yelling. Finally got pissed off, got in the car, drove down there. I walked in. The guy goes, what did I freaking tell you? We're not hiring. All of a sudden, this guy on the back goes, hey, Jim just quit. We need somebody. He goes,
Ah,
well, there you go.
there you go.
So that story, that what he did to me, what he showed me is that if you're determined, if you're relentless, things will happen. You know, as long as you're a good dude and you're a good guy to work with, so many opportunities. And that's kind of how it is with the acting thing. There's so many assholes in the business, but there's also some great people. And when you're working on a movie set and you're just a group of you working, it's tough to work with assholes. It's anything you do, right? At work, if you're working at McDonald's, or you're working at a business or whatever, you're working in accounting, the guy next to you is an asshole. It's hard to work with him. It's the same thing. And so if you're great to work with, you're a cool dude, so many, and you do a good job and do a little bit more than you're supposed to, the world opens up. And that's how I treated acting, the same way. That's how it got me to the Dallas Cowboys. That's how I became a paratrooper. And that's how I spent 30 years as an actor, you know, won awards and have tattoos. People have tattoos of me on their body. I have action figures. It's just crazy. So I've been definitely been blessed. Those are the lessons that I learned early on, and it kind of just paid off in life. So
You've lived so many lives. Like there's so many things that you have accomplished in so many different arenas. Like
Mm-hmm.
just
you
Yeah.
acting and then the military and then
Mm-hmm.
this,
football.
but but
Like,
but guess what I'm doing now? Now I'm in business. So I stepped away from acting in 2017 after 30 years. And instead of waiting tables between acting jobs, I worked at a test laboratory putting my degree to work, right?
Oh.
And and I wanted to see how far or how successful I could be in business,
Mhm.
in the tech field. And I took all those principles that I learned throughout the way about doing a little extra, you know, being a great person, being a hard worker, doing whatever it takes to make it happen,
Mhm.
and smiling along the way, and just enjoying it, and knowing that nothing comes easy, and not taking anything for granted. All those things, and just applied to the business. And now I have probably one of the best reputations in the tech world, in
Mhm.
a space that I work in. And now I'm building at my job. I'm known for is building business. My last company, I just built them from zero to 400 million in less than 4 years. So,
wow.
and I just launched my own company called IoT Powerhouse. And my wife, my new wife, who just married tomorrow will be 1 month. And I can show you a picture if you haven't seen her yet. I gotta brag about her. Um, that's her right
As you
there.
should. As you should.
Oh, she's
That's me.
gorgeous.
She's
She's
I got
gorgeous.
I
gorgeous.
got lucky. I got lucky for my
Oh
Yeah.
big bald
yeah.
headed ass. I got lucky. So yeah, for sure. But so she's got an invention that's been patented. She has 4 patents wrapped around it.
Wow.
And it's going to make an impact on the world. It's really, really cool. It's innovative. And we're building a website. We're going to add a lot of cool animations, and it's really going to be cool. It's called Inseam Saver, N dash seam, like SEAM, and then Saver. You'll in inseamsaver.com. We have the landing page there, but that'll be launching at the end of July. So, but
Huh.
anyway, so that's, you just gotta freaking go for it, man.
Yeah.
This the moment we have right now, us talking together, we're not going to get this back. Yeah, we can play it back, but this moment, this time passing, can't get it back. So just freaking work your ass off and get there, right? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Wow.
That's
You're so
amazing.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And did you
Yeah.
like, did you envision sitting here like 30 years later and people being like hyper excited to talk to you, or
No, no, and it's funny. I don't know if it's a compliment or not, but maybe it's because I've done enough interviews and autograph signings. But uh, last year I went to the movie theaters by myself. Um, and I went there and I walked in, and it was one of those movie theaters that had a bar and a restaurant right there at the movie theater. I walked in, and the guy behind the bar's like, "Oh my gosh, Belthazor!" It was freaking out. It was awesome. So we had a good talk. So that's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, I know it's I didn't envision this. I didn't really plan it. The only thing I planned is that when I got that first role, it's what I have ingrained in me. If you're gonna do anything,
Do it.
work your ass off and do to the best of your ability, and try to be the best at it.
Mhm.
Period. Because you might not be the best, but you'd be pretty darn close,
Yeah.
right? And that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens. And that's what you need to do. Don't half ass anything. A
Yeah,
lot of
especially if
people
they know that you're reliable and they can depend on you to be where you're supposed to be
agreed.
and show up and do the job. People are going to want to call you.
Hmm.
Agreed. Yeah. It's like my mom, I love my mom to death, but she wants to live the quiet life and everything like that. And just, when she did a 9 to 5 job, which, people have to do those things, because that's important. Uh, I'm not a 9 to 5 guy. I have these big dreams, and, you know, damn, if the other guy can do it, why can't I? Why
Hmm.
can't you?
Yeah.
Right? Why can
Yeah.
anybody that's doing this just say screw it, man, I'm gonna freaking work my ass off to make there. And no is never no, it's just not right now. Except for when it comes to women. When they tell you no, then yes, that's no.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
It,
Any questions more about Charmed and
well, I just wanted to make a comment, and then I'm gonna be quiet.
yes.
I talk a lot, so please, they know how I am. um, what really inspires me is like the fact that when you look at your filmography, you have your hand in so many different huge fandoms. So there's Charmed, there's Buffy, the Nightmare on Elm Street fandom is it's a whole
Hmm.
entity. And
Yeah.
then like even the kind of like step into Marvel, I'm not sure about that role. Where you
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
And
Ben Grimm.
I mean, like, I'm sure that for someone who's into the, Marvel universe, that's like a cool fact. And and I only say that because that's not something that I'm like a Marvel person, but just the number of things that you've been a part of has just been like amazing. Toph, yeah, there's my boy Toph.
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool. But no, I agree. I'm not a one trick pony. I'm not just something that do one thing, right? So and you have to be smart about stuff, right? So if you're gonna go for a character that's totally different, you got to work your ass off to understand what that character is, right? And I just have the ability. I don't know if it's a talent or whatever, but that's what I do. Like I was doing Charmed at the time, and they had wanted me to play this character, and so I did that. And here's a funny story about that. The whole week, we're filming, and at the end, was on the last day where Toth is going to get killed, and I'm fighting Buffy, and she kicks me down, and I'm on the ground. This is the part where I'm on the ground. She's going to put her sword through my chest, and she's sitting there, and they're setting up the shot with the lights, and you're getting ready. And I'm sitting there, and my hand is on the ground. It's the ground. My hand's here, and her hand's like right here, and you're sitting there, and I'm just sitting there waiting because this is how it was when I fell. So we keep it like this so they can set up the shot. And then she comes down, she sits down next to me, and I just look. I'm not looking up. I'm not looking at her, looking up because I'm thinking she's getting ready. All of a sudden, she just goes over and she just kind of goes like taps my finger. I'm like, okay, maybe that was an accident or something like that. I don't know, right? And then she goes, taps it again twice. I'm like, okay. And then she taps it a couple times, and I'm like, okay. So I went over and I tapped her hand. Then she tapped my hand. Then I tapped her hand. Then we went like this. And that was it. That was the end of our conversation. There was no more. There was nothing else. So that was to me, it was quite interesting. Let me speaking of Urkel, I have to show this. My Urkel, which I think you're going to love.
More than likely.
So bam.
Look at that. Look at that.
I remember this. I
Yeah.
remember this.
Snap. Yeah, so that's good. So that's funny. That tattoo goes around my neck and on my face. And so when they put that on you, you're wearing it, right? I'm you're still living throughout your life, right? You're shooting here to come home, I had like a day off between filming or something like that. I had to do that. And so I went to the gym. I cannot tell you, many people walk right up to me, just stare at me, go, dude, man, that's a serious tattoo. Why did you get that? I'm like, I'm doing a movie right now. And so anyway, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, great. It was great to do that. Good guest star role on that. Let me see what else I got. It'd be kind of fun to talk about. Speaking of Jean-Claude Van Damme, this is the don't get too scared from this one. This is me preparing to fight him. And bam. So that's me right there. So
Wow.
I trained hard for that to get ready for that. We shot that in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. Let me show a picture of the difference in size between me and Jean-Claude Van Damme. So you see this?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
He
Wow,
looks
that's
tiny in
crazy.
comparison.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you could literally just squeeze him to death.
I got a little
Yeah.
I got a little too popular on that show, on the movie, and he didn't like that too well. So here's speaking of Star Trek, let me show you this one. I don't know if you guys are watch. This is from Voyager. This is right here.
Oh.
So we shot this out in California called Needles. It's a place way out in the boonies. And so funny. We were, in California. I don't know where you guys based out of.
I'm in Louisiana.
Okay.
I'm in Mississippi.
Okay.
And
Eric, where you?
I'm in New Jersey.
All right, New Jersey. Well,
Yeah.
You have two Southern guys, and you got a guy from New Jersey. Okay, I see how it works. No, it's all good. I'm calling you from Northwest Arkansas, so yeah. So I'm close by. So
Yeah.
I was
Triangle.
I was living in California, moved to Dallas, and then I met this this beautiful lady who I'm married to now, and she goes, I live in Northwest Arkansas. I'm like, okay, that's 5 hours away. She goes, yep, but I'm worth the drive. And so I said, okay, let's see. So I drove up 5 hours to go see her, and then the next weekend I drove up again. The next week I drove up again, and then I went to go do an autograph signing in San Antonio, and we did a road trip all from here down to San Antonio, and we just got along like two peas in a pod. So I said, I think we should get married. No, it wasn't that quick, but it felt like it. You can't, when you get older, you can't mess around anymore. But let me see. Here is a great TV show called Master of Disguise. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Turtle.
So that's my character.
Yeah, I kept trying. I haven't watched that movie in so long, and I kept trying to place the scene. Yes.
Yeah.
I have another. Here's this one will really place you here really well. So here we go. and it's with a good friend of mine named Vincent Riverside. So good friend. We became friends after this shot. So after this movie, remember that?
And which movie
Hey,
is
you see a
Yeah.
hey, you see a dark haired guy run by here? That great guy,
Yes,
Chief.
yes,
Yeah.
I
yes.
Chief
I remember that.
Bullseyes. Yeah.
it?
So yeah, so
Wow.
that's that.
Mhm.
So that's pretty cool. What else? Um,
What was it
this
like
is
on
from a
Nash
TV.
Bridges?
Huh?
What was it like on Nash Bridges?
Nash Bridges. It was great. Cheech Marin is a great guy. And we had a great time. Yeah, they were going to bring me back for to be more of a series regular the next season, but they canceled the TV show. So yeah, so they just I guess Don Johnson didn't want to do it anymore. Uh, so I'm going to show you a little bit of history here. I'm going to show you in don't do not laugh. This is me when I'm a few months old, and
Ah,
this is my grandpa Bailey. So it's my middle name's after him. So pretty cool dude. He's yeah, he was a good guy. So let me see. Let me see. This is kind of interesting. I don't know if there's a really well-known actor named Arlie Ermy. You ever seen the movie Full Metal Jacket? Remember the drill sergeant in
mhm.
Full Metal? Remember that guy?
Yeah.
So that's him right there. So I'm about ready to kill him. A movie called Best of the Best. So that one, Best of the Best 3. So I played Aryan Brotherhood gang leader. So just to let you know, with me being this big white dude and especially bald headed,
Mhm.
I cannot tell you how many times I was one time thrown against a police car and hooked up and thrown against the hood. This is when I was doing if I have to see the movie here. I got it here. Oh, yes. You know this movie here. Uh, so right here. So that's with Bing Rames. Movie's called Undisputed. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
so that's me there. I played Aryan Brotherhood gang leader. So I have on the back of my head here, I have a swastika. On my hands, my arms are tattooed, and then my hands have ABs on both my hands. I'm in Vegas. We're in Vegas, a place called High Desert Prison where we're filming. It's about an hour outside Vegas, but they put us up at the Caesar's Palace. Now, come on. I'm at the Caesar's Palace. I cannot walk around with a swastika on the back of my head.
No.
So
Yeah, that's asking for
now,
trouble.
yes, I agree. So I'm wearing beanie and I'm wearing like my collared shirt up high and I can't cover up the ABs on my
Mhm.
hands, so I'm kind of stuck there.
Mhm.
So I days off. I had to find a place to go work out. So I went. It was about like an hour. I'd walk an hour to go to this one gym. I'm working out there, and it's getting kind of hot. And I pull off my beanie to wipe my brow, and I'm seeing people stare at me, and like, oh crap! So I put my beanie back on. I
Forget.
walk outside, and two Vegas cops cars pull up like this and pull out their guns and point them at me, and they hook me up, threw me against
Oh
the
my
hood,
God.
and they hooked me in the
Oh
hood, and
wow.
and the one guy's taking his club and jabbing me in the kidneys, going, "What school did you go to? What school did you go to?" I'm thinking, I went, "Officer, I went to Eastern Michigan." No, asshole. What prison? I didn't know school meant prison. So anyway, so I told him that I said, "I'm officer." I said, "I'm doing a movie with Ving Rhames, Wesley Snipes." I said, "I'm an actor." And he goes, "Bullshit." He goes, "That those freaking tests look real." Like whatever. I said, "No." I said, and all of a sudden I said, "No, they're not." I said, "Go ahead and scrape one of the." So he scraped one of the A's off my hand, AB, A's off my hands. Got pissed, unhooked me, turned me around, shoved the club in my face, under my chin, and said, you better cover your colors up here in Vegas, boy," or something like, "Call me boy." And then he if you don't, you and I are gonna have some words. And so then hopped in the car and they drove off. So next day, I'm at this. I'm like, get to the set, and the makeup artist goes, "What happened to your hand?" You know, because you have to do it over, right? So I told her the story, so I completely forgot about this. And then later on the day, when we're ready to set up for a scene, the director was Walter Hill, a pretty well-known guy, and he walks up to me and goes, "Hey, Michael, so I hear you ran a little trouble downtown." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I almost got arrested." And he goes, "You know what? That's good casting." And then he kind of walked away. I'm like, "What? Yeah, okay." So it was kind of funny. But let me show you some that's gonna make you laugh. I have to show you this. So after I did The Hills Have Eyes in Morocco, I got home. It's a long trip from Morocco. I get home and I get off the plane. I'm driving home, and my manager calls me. Goes, "Hi, I know you just got off home, but you have an audition?" And I go, "Okay, it's for a commercial. That's actually you're being a spokesperson." And I said, "For who?" It's it's Mr.
Oh,
Clean. So so I was Mr. Clean for 6 months, and that's him. That's Mr. Clean car, and the lady here is my handler. So she makes sure that I don't do anything bad for Procter and Gamble.
yeah.
But of course, she's not going to stop all the women from grabbing me and grabbing my ass and doing everything else. Goes, "Oh, let's take a picture," and I get goosed by some woman who's grabbing my butt. So,
Oh,
anyways, yeah. So I did that for 6 months. They wanted me to stay longer, but I was like, "This is not acting, and I don't want to do this." So it
yeah.
was fun though. This one you're gonna
Oh
like. Remember
wow.
the TV show Southland?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did this with. So here you go. You're gonna like this shot. So hold on.
Lucy, look. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is an amazing shot to have.
Is that cool? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. She's super nice. Super nice gal. So let me show you, of course, when I won the award for it. Let me turn around and show you the award I got. Here, this.
Oh, that it looks heavy.
It
It
looks.
is heavy. It's actually cinder block. So this is
Oh,
the Fuse Fangoria Chainsaw Awards for. It's heavy. This probably weighs like, I'd say, good 20 pounds.
oh.
For this character here. For that. So
I remember this, but I can't place it.
this is from The Hills Have Eyes.
That's
Oh.
right. That's right. I
Oh.
haven't. That was one of the movies that really scared the hell out of me. So I've only seen it like twice.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's even a cooler shot. I mean, freaking scary. Here we go. I'm gonna show it to you. Oh, this is a different one. Hold on. This is from Hills of Ice 2. I did the sequel to this too for a different character. That's always nice when you're let me cancel this. Hold on. Do it again. Always nice when you do good work on the first film and they have you back for a second one. So
Mm-hmm.
this one right here, look at that. Oh my gosh, just look at
Oh,
this.
Now
oh,
this I remember.
oh God.
Oh my god. Oh,
Look at Galen. I love it. Look at Galen's like that. So let me tell you a story about this.
Hello, everybody. So, are you ready to hear part 2 of the interview and hear the rest of that very interesting story? I know you are. So just make sure that you're subscribed to us on social media. Make sure that you have you're following us on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, wherever, so that you can make sure that not only do you get access to part 2, but that you hear every single podcast episode that we have coming out in the future. See y'all there.